Hi. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Shh. Shh.
Good morning. It is
Good
Tuesday.
morning. It's Tuesday. How are you all out there? We're great. This is a wonderful, wonderful day, and we're excited to be with you today to teach you how to drive your car. You're going to love it. You thought you already knew how to drive your car, but no, no.
We're going to teach you a new way.
We're going to give you a new car.
Hey, that would be fun.
All right.
Cece says, yay, let me have it. This is Cece, our Wooka raccoon who goes with us everywhere. She's our mascot. And now she's going to say bye and sit on the table and watch.
For a while. Anyway, she stares either at me from the mirror as I drive like that, or drive my car, or she's in here staring at me while we talk to you and teach you how your rural community can transition from where it was to where it wants to be. Not going back to where it was, but going forward to where you want it to go as a community. And that's what this show is all about. It's as Don Mackey has said, how do you restart, rebuild, and build a resilient community coming out of this, what do we call it? I don't know any other term than the COVID crisis. And so your community has a chance to become better and different if you make it intentional. You have to intend to make it intend to make it better, and get your community together. So if you have missed any of our past episodes of Rural Community Solutions TV, go to our YouTube channel, or maybe you're on our YouTube channel right now, Rural Community Solutions TV, YouTube, and you can catch up. You can look at our past videos. You can gain some knowledge of what our philosophy is. You can gain a knowledge of where we're trying to take the communities to help them become better and to help them transition from a time of commuting society and a commuting workforce to how do you design a family-friendly, youth-centered place that attracts people, attracts home-based businesses, attracts a teleworkforce, and attracts entrepreneurs to live within your community that you can grow and prosper. So how do you build entrepreneurial wealth within your community? And that's what Rural Community Solutions, us.
So I'm Kim Spillers. It's about time to say hi.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The people who maybe this is their first time, they don't know that you're Frank and I'm Kim. So now you know.
Oh, well.
And we're so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us. You met Cece, but didn't know who we were.
Yeah,
so
oh well.
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We're so glad you're here. Thanks. Lots to share with you today.
Lots to share. This is going to be fun. And we're excited to have you with us. So let's get just a little bit more about who we are and what we target as we work with your community, your organization on how do you transform your community into a successful community. And it's, the Rural Community Solutions approach is this. We help you define the problem. In other words, we look at qualitative and quantitative data as a foundation, and we help you define what the problem is. Now, what sets us apart from difference is that we, from other companies, is that we dig deep and find the cause of some of your problems. In other words, we pull back the rug and try to find what you have swept under the rug for a century, if not longer, in your community, that your community always has there under the rug, ready to be discovered, or you sweep it under the rug and you don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like that person in your family you know is there, but you don't admit they're in your family.
No, nobody has that.
Nobody has that.
Nobody
Yeah.
has that.
Yeah. I don't
But
have it.
sometimes in your community, you may have someone or some experience. There are some pretty big things that communities around the country have faced in their history. So we try to help you figure that out because it's going to be beneficial in the long run.
And it's just like in an individual. You have certain subconscious habits that you have developed over the course of a lifetime that keep you from growing sometimes, that you have to deal with before you can move forward on an issue. So those are the cause of the problems. We search for the cause. We just don't look for the symptoms, right? And there's many symptoms out there, but there is an underlying cause because of those symptoms. So the symptoms lead you to the cause, but you have to start dealing with the cause in order for your community to move forward. And then once we do that, we start to generate with you possible solutions and what those solutions mean, what avenues you would have to take to those solutions. And then from those offerings and those discoveries that you are discovering the possible solutions and which ways you can go, you choose which way you want to go. You choose your actions to get you to the results that you want. Oh, and why do I say you choose your actions to get you to the results you want? Stay tuned because we'll talk about it in a little bit. But this week, we're all about relationships. We're all about the rural community prosperity pillars are the 4 pillars of relationships, engagement, entrepreneurship, and collaboration. And this week, we're focusing on relationships. In other words, do people feel welcome in your community? Now, we have asked that question in some communities before. And of course, what do we get from the community leaders is, oh, sure, we welcome everybody. Everybody is welcome in our community.
We treat everyone well and nicely.
And everybody is encouraged to come, and we love them, we embrace them. And then we ask people that have maybe just moved there or have lived there for 30 years and ask them, well, do you feel welcome in your community? And they tell us,
not always.
No. I haven't felt comfortable in this community for a long time. And you thought they were ingrained within your community. But in the background, under the rug, they don't feel welcome. And we say they don't feel welcome because one of the reasons is they weren't born and raised in your community, or their grandparents aren't buried in your cemetery. In other words, they don't have heredity. They don't have heredity in your community. And we say environment is more important than heredity. So this is all about how do you create that environment to where people feel welcome and accepted within your community. And it's all about the environment that you set. So this week is how do you set that welcoming environment to where people feel like they belong in your community. Because it's just like a worker that doesn't feel they belong or they're not appreciated in their job. They will look elsewhere, but it's not the job. It's not the company that forces them out. It's the people in the company. Mm-hmm. So if you're losing population in your community, it's the people that are driving the people out of your community to lose those populations. All right. And so you have to look at what is the environment that we are creating? What is the culture that we are creating that is driving people to move out of our community? And if you are saying, where do our youth go? Or why is our youth leaving our community? This is a big question that you have to ask. It's a self-analysis, and it could be harmful. It could be hurtful, not harmful, hurtful in your community, because it's pulling back the rug on some of those things that you have to deal with that you might not want to deal with, and that you are in a state of denial as people are leaving your community and as those youth are leaving your community because of the experience they've had as they have been growing up. So relationships are important, and that's what this week is all about. And so when you take those 4 pillars and you put them all together and you start to work with them, this is what you get. Relationships and working with the pillar of engagement, you build trust in your community. When you build engagement and you have collaboration in your community and you build with your community, you start to build policies, because people are talking about how we can make the environment value-based, and what value do people have as they are working within their community. And you can build and change policies as people work through that. When you have relationships, great relationships, and you build community or you build collaboration, you build unity. How many of you want unity within your community?
Yes, please.
It builds civility. And let me tell you, our communities need more civility. And so when you formulate all three of those pillars, and include the fourth pillar of entrepreneurship, you build entrepreneurial wealth in your community, which is where your community started 200 years ago or 150 years ago, wherever it was. An entrepreneur jumped off a wagon and planted the flag and said, this is where I'm going to build my community.
Now, that diagram that we were just showing is really important. So we will refer to that in multiple episodes. So just wanted to give you that heads up that we use this a lot because it is so valuable for community development.
So valuable for your community to move forward and use this type of diagram here as you look at it, just because you need to know where you're going. You need to know where you're going to end up and how to get there. And those pillars will help create that environment that you will have a very prosperous wealth building community with people, attracting people, and not just attracting jobs, but you're attracting the wealth. That's what this is all about, is attracting the wealth. And so to get your results, you have to have a great attitude. Yeah. It's an attitude that carries on into your coffee shop. It's an attitude to where people's words matter within their community. Attitude is huge. Do you wake up in the morning and you have a great attitude? Do you hang around people that have a great attitude? But be careful, because you might hang around people that think just like you, and you define your attitude as great, but it's really negative. And so it's the words that we use that define our attitude. And those words are really, really important, the way that you frame them. And so reframe your conversations and reframe your attitude around certain ways that you can say certain things.
Often in communities, we feel that this is up to our chamber, or it's up to our economic development department, somebody else. That's their job. So it's not important whether or not me, as just, a regular citizen, does something like this. But in truth, our words do matter. How we talk about our community, how our kids talk about our community, all of that is really critical. So listen to the language when you talk to someone else. When you hear your kids talking to each other or talking to their friends, do they talk about your community as, oh gosh, do you know what our town did for us? Or, man, I love that new piece of equipment. Or, I had this wonderful experience with this downtown business owner. I went in there and this happened and I really felt special. Are those the kind of stories that you hear among your community members, among your kids? Those are the things that we want to promote in our communities, because those are the things that people are going to remember. They remember how much you care, not how much you know. And our words demonstrate our care. It's
just like this. And we gave this example, I think last week in one of our episodes. We gave this example of, you walk up to a new person, you've never seen them before, and you ask them in town. And here's a great icebreaker, the way you ask them. Are you from around here? Now, don't walk up to them and say, you're not from around here, are you? There's different in the words that we use and different in the phrases, and how we reframe our phrases really makes a difference. And so if they're not from around there, or they had just moved there, your next question should be, oh, really? Why have you chosen us? Not, oh, why did you move here? See? Communication, it makes a huge difference and creates that sense of well-being around a person that makes them feel welcome. When you walk up to a person and say, oh, you're not from around here, why did you move here? They become questionable. They start questioning their decision within their head of, wow. And they're looking around for reasons why they moved there. but those expectations of somebody else has set within them, they'll find the negative aspects of that community. They won't find the positive aspects of that community because they will be looking for that excuse of why did they move there?
You know, another really important piece of attitude is that words, though they are important, are really a very small amount of what we communicate to a person. Most of it comes in terms of body language and positioning and things like that. And I'm sure we will be telling you several stories as the weeks roll on. But when we see someone, do you engage them? Do you at least make eye contact or give them a smile? We travel all around the country when we can. And what we find is that I remember one town in particular in Nebraska, actually, and the downtown was kind of bare. There weren't very many people out, and I needed to walk and do an errand. So I walked across the street, and several people, interestingly enough, they looked at me. They knew I wasn't from around there because I didn't look. It wasn't that I didn't look like anybody else, but they recognized that I was a stranger. And they just kind of looked, and they'd kind of make a quizzical puzzle with their eyes, but no one said anything. No one said hi. No one waved at me, anything like that. Gave me a really interesting impression of that town, that it really wasn't very welcoming. So be aware of how you behave yourself. At the very least, smile at somebody. It really comes across and makes a big difference.
So these are all actions that get the results that you want. So what type of environment do you want to set in your community, and what type of results do you want? And when we say actions and results and how do you drive your car, it is because of this. You have the ability to respond in any way. You have a responsibility to set your environment in your community. It's your responsibility to set that environment, to make people and help people feel welcome. You can't make them feel anything, but you can set the environment to where they do feel welcome. And this even carries on into your organization, not just your town, but it's all your organizations across the board. It's your businesses. It's your, if you're a manager in a business or you're a business owner, it's, do your employees feel welcome and feel a sense of belonging in your place of business? But if they don't feel a sense of belonging within your community where your business is at, they're going to leave. They're going to find a job elsewhere, because people want to feel welcome where they live, not as much. Well, they do want to feel welcome where they work also, but where they live is important. And if you are a commuter community, if you have workers that commute into your town and then leave, how do you capture them? How do you get their response to and respond to the welcoming environment to where they go and they look around, they go, you know, I work in this place every day. I come here every day, but this town really is special. Why wouldn't I want my family to move here? And you have a captured audience that you really need to set that environment to. How do I get these people to move here? Okay, because why should they just work here and go home and live someplace else and take their money with them, by the way? Why should they move? Why shouldn't they just move here, buy a house, live here, raise their family, have their kids go to your school? Okay, you have the ability to respond in any way. It's your responsibility to set that bar and set that environment in your community to where people feel welcome.
That goes back, I'm sorry, but that goes back also in a little bit closer vein. If you're going to start at the very core, it works in your household. Take it right straight back to your very own self, to your very own marriage, to your very own parenting, to your family, because those are the attitudes that are going to go out into the community. So we want those to be happy, healthy, and responding in real positive ways. And
if you're a teacher, it goes to your classroom. If you're an administrator, school administrator, it goes to your whole school system. People want to feel welcome. They want to feel engaged. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because it overflows into the workforce. And we'll visit about that. But our formula that you want to do is C plus A equals R. How do you drive your car? Now, the C is the circumstances. It's where you're at. It's not because of where you're at. It's just looking at your circumstances. And so when we come in and we do the qualitative and quantitative data analysis on your community, and we start to develop some themes, that is your circumstances. How do you find those paths? What are some of your issues? What are some of your problems? Those are your circumstances. You can't deny what your circumstances are. If you try to do that, you're not living in a real world and you're not being realistic, and you can't improve what those circumstances are. So you really have to be truthful into acknowledging these are our circumstances. It's not where we're going to end up. It's just where we start. Okay. And then you want to figure out what results that you do want. And when we work with communities, we look at the people that live there, but we also work with you to define the person that you want to have live in your community. We're going to talk about vision a lot, because vision is the picture of the future you wish to create. We're not going to go into visioning right now, but just remember that definition. The vision is a picture of the future you wish to create. And so as you have that vision, it's like you're taking a snapshot. It's like you're painting this picture of everything you want in your future, in your community, of how you want your community to look, of how you want it to taste, feel, smell,
touch,
feel.
Oh, yeah.
See.
All your senses.
All your senses. Taste, feel, touch, smell.
What you say.
Hear.
That too.
Yep, that too. Okay, here. 5 senses. Wow. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I'll have to make those notes. But that's what the vision is. Yeah. Okay, yeah. See, 2 minds make
That's
one.
right.
That's it. Yay! All right. So as we go through this,
taste,
those
touch, feel, hear, smell. There we go. We got it.
Okay. All right. 5 minutes later. Yes. Hey. All right. Yeah. That's what quarantine does to a person. All right. We don't get out much. Anyway, those are your circumstances, but your results are that vision. And that vision is a clear picture of the future you wish to create. So when you know your circumstances and you know the picture you wish to create, the only thing left to do is to take action. Action. So when you have your circumstances plus actions, or the road to get you to where you want to go, you will get the results that you vision, that you want. You will get and drive your WUKA car. Okay? You know what?
What?
I didn't even share all that.
What?
Yeah. Here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
We forgot to show you
there
these
we go.
slides.
We got it there.
Okay.
So there's your formula. C plus A equals R, to where your circumstances plus your actions equal your results. Your circumstances plus your actions equal your results. And your results is that vision on there. And the vision that you want is the results that you are getting. And so you want to drive your WUKA car to get the results that you want. And so as you look at how do I get those results, okay, it's attitude drives actions, actions drive results, and results drive what you get. Your results drive what you get. But do you make your results drive what you want? Because what you get and what you want might not be the same thing. And just like as in an individual, what you get and what you want is determined by your actions, which is determined by your habits, which are determined by things you have developed over the course of a lifetime, and the way you see yourself, your perceptions in your community, the perceptions and attitude of people within your community, and the things that you will not deal with that you have swept under the rug. So this all works together. If you do not Okay. If you do not look at what is the problem, what's the cause, what are some of the solutions, but if you don't look at the problem and define the issue, what are your circumstances, truthful, what are your circumstances, what are the cause of this circumstance, how did we get here, and how did we get here, and what is it that brought us here, what results were we thinking of, what habits do we have, what atmosphere, what environment did we set a long time ago to create the culture that we're in, right? And that is looking more at the cause of what could happen, okay? So you have the responsibility, the ability to respond in any way to drive your car. And you want to drive that WUKA car. You want to be successful. Because here you will know if you are successful. One, you will have a family-friendly environment. People will feel welcome within your community. It will be youth-focused. In other words, you will ask this question, and every time you make a decision, you will ask the question, how will this decision affect kids? What will it look like? How will it look in 25 years when our grandchildren become leaders within this community? How will that decision affect them? You will also have a collaborative leadership. Collaborative leadership is all about how people work together, not about the project being done. You will also have a shared vision with shared goals. Your vision is your results. Your goals are your actions to get you to the results that you want. It has to be a community-wide vision and community-wide goals to get you to where you want that community to go. Also, a communication system to talk about that, to let everybody know, and to be transparent about what is going on within your community and how people can become involved. People need an entry point. People need an on-ramp to get to where they want to be.
They also need to feel welcome when they do try.
Because when they do, they see a place where they can be engaged, and they see that entry ramp of how that can work and how they can do that. So when you put those together, right, and when you put those together and you keep asking the question, how will this decision affect children, then you will have outcomes that will lead you down the action road, give you the results that you want, that will give you these outcomes. It will increase population by a global recruitment of technological?
Could be both.
Yeah, it could be both.
Absolutely.
Technology entrepreneurs that live and work in your community in rural America. It will increase school enrollment because they will bring children with them that will put kids within your school system. It will increase community pride and vibrancy. I mean, how you want people to be proud of where they live, because if they were proud of where they live, they work to make it better. They will educate and raise awareness of the rural technology infrastructure that we are starting to build. This is why engagement and collaboration, those pillars, when you're working on issues and you help people get involved with that, and you work with other communities and you collaborate with other organizations around their mission of how you can, and a collaborative vision, you can build great policy. And in rural America, we need good broadband policy that helps us to reach out to, so all rural communities can have a global economy. It brings in new businesses. And I'm not talking about major manufacturers. I'm talking about home-based businesses. I'm talking about a tele-workforce. It brings in new community wealth. And then also, as community growth, as the community desires, how does your community want to grow? Also, there are some communities out there that don't want to grow. They don't want to change. They don't want to transform into something better. So that is another decision that your community has to make. And the first one is, do we want to grow? Do we want to transform into a new community that people want to live here?
everybody knows someone in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world. Here in rural America, because we have so many wonderful opportunities, this opportunity to increase school enrollment is just a really ripe possibility right now. People from the metro areas are looking to move into smaller towns, smaller communities to feel safer. Smaller numbers gives a higher impression, a higher level of safety because you have fewer people. Rural America has lots of space for people in metro areas. So if you have family, if you have friends, if you have coworkers, talk to them about whether or not they might want to consider moving to your area. This is another opportunity, looking at where things are in the world, that we might be able to help do some repopulation of all of our community entities.
If you want to know more about us or investigate us or give us some comments, go to ruralcommunitysolutions.com. That's our website. That's where you can find out. If you want to, there we go. If you want to comment, email us. You can email me at frank@ghorizons.com or
me, Kim at ghorizons.com.
So we'd love to hear from you. Comment below, but also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'd love to hear from you. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know if we can help. We just want to know new ideas. Also, in 2 days on Thursday, it's going to start our interview Thursday. We're going to have interviews on Thursday. We're going to interview Clark Gerlach, who is from a small town of about 400 people that has built and helped build the community around great relationships and make great relationships to where people do really feel welcome around him and around their community. As he has recruited people to live there, he's also recruited people to his church that has increased the population of their church and grown their youth exponentially into that population. So tune in and it'll be a live interview with Clark, and it'll be a great conversation. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell some examples, some stories that we have worked with about how people have built great relationships and also how they have not built great relationships within their community and made people feel welcome. So it'll be a good chance to listen to some examples of communities that have worked and some examples of communities that might not have worked so well.
So it's a tale of two cities, and it's not the story by Charles Dickens. So you need to tune in tomorrow at 11:30 Central Daylight Time and join us again for the next episode, episode 8 of Rural Community Solutions TV.
We're so glad you decided to tune in.
Thanks so much.
And Rural Community Solutions TV, live stream, YouTube channel, subscribe, go back and watch our episodes. We'd be more than happy to have you. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.